What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about Mafia: The Old Country and discuss two things. Number one, where it could be shown, and number two, what could be shown. So we already know it's appearing in December. They've already said that. I guess you could easily put like two and two together and say, okay, well, it's appearing in December. The Game Awards is in December. I think Mafia is a big enough franchise that it could make waves. I think if you showed it off for the very first time, in-game cinematics, in gameplay, whatever you want to do, if you did that at the Game Awards, you're probably not walking away thinking it's the biggest thing you saw. I do think, we already speculated on Resident Evil 9 and a couple other games potentially being there. I do think there's games that would beat it in terms of like shock value, but I do think this would be like the tier down, right? You got like the Resident Evils of the world, a few others potentially is like the highest of the high, and then you got like a Mafia being, hey, this is no slouch, but it's not the biggest thing of all time because you already saw it coming. You already knew it was coming. So the Game Awards makes a lot of sense. I would also like to throw in a PlayStation event if it's happening. I'm recording this on the Monday, okay, the 25th. You guys are seeing on Thanksgiving. Happy American Thanksgiving to you guys if you celebrate it, of course. It's possible things have changed since Monday to Thursday. Maybe there is a PlayStation event, maybe there isn't. Here's the thing. If there's not a PlayStation event, I think it easily is at the Game Awards. And also, I guess, honestly, if we go back to when it was first shown, do they know for sure that there's a PlayStation event? It actually makes me think it's Game Awards or it's like them doing it on their own, right? Because when they say you're going to see them in December, you know the Game Awards is every December, right? There's no shifting that. There's no changing that. You don't know if there's a PlayStation event. So 4 or 5 months ago or whenever it was, maybe probably less, when they announced this game, do they know that they already, I mean, obviously, I guess they would know, right? Do they sign the papers with PlayStation saying, okay, Mafia is going to appear at the December State of Play or not? They would know that, right? I just feel like the Game Awards, it's a much more consistent, it's in front of more people, 100+ million eyes around the thing, right? I think it makes the most sense to be at the Game Awards. Now, I mean, that's pretty easy. You're going to see in December, it's just kind of where you really only got two options and you might actually only have one. Now, in terms of what will be shown, this one's far more interesting to me. I got two for you, okay? And I like these kind of speculation type things. I want to see the world and I want to see the story. In my opinion, I picked those on purpose. I'll explain to you right now. So when it comes to Mafia, in my experience, my love for the franchise, Mafia is always at its best when you got like the amazing story and characters, okay? The writing is top tier, and that's really what sets it apart from the other open world games, okay? When you think of GTA, Saints Row back when it was good, Mafia, etc., right? When you think of these games and you say, okay, well, what makes them different from each other? Mafia always stands out to me because of the story and the characters and the time period. What I do think they do actually really well in terms of the world is capture the aesthetic, okay, now in this case, Italy, right, a prequel to the Mafia games, but they've always captured, I would say, the time period pretty darn well because it's always been visually, appealing to look at and all that stuff too, okay? They've always done a good job there. The one thing I think they haven't done a good job is filling in the world. And I actually talked about this leading into, I think, Mafia 1 and 2 when there was the rumors of are they getting remade or, then there was the rumors of Mafia 4 back then when we got the trilogy type thing. And I remember saying this, and I'm going to say the exact same thing again. Like those games are, Mafia 1 and 2 are legitimately amazing games, but they're not amazing games because the world feels lived in, because of the side stuff, because, that's not Mafia's bread and butter, but it's something I do think they could stretch their legs in, get comfortable with, and not like kill the rest of the game. Does that make sense? I think you can still tell the quality that you expect of Mafia from the story and characters, as well as get like side activity, side hustle type things that you can do. And the early rumors of Mafia 4 was like multi-decade, and you're building up your squad and you're kind of like leveling up and like building this empire. No, I don't know if that ends up happening, or maybe it's just like a couple years and you can do that. I think that would help. I think like a mini game almost of sorts. So, I don't want to get too far away from the plot here. My general thing I want to see, set it up, set the story up, set the characters up. That's the stuff you expect from Mafia, right? And the time period, like Italy, and I'm Italian, so I find that pretty nice. Any Mafia game, really. But all that stuff I'm in for, and all that stuff you expect, right? The one thing that I would like to see, if they do gameplay, if they don't, I mean, here's the thing. The game comes out, supposedly, I mean, they said next year. I think, honestly, that's very quick, and I personally think this is an early candidate to get delayed out of next year. Honestly, I think it's probably September, October, November game. I think GTA comes around at the same time. I think probably with a mix of they want to make sure the game doesn't come out as like a buggy mess, as well as maybe being afraid from GTA, they move it. And it's a year away, okay? So it's very early speculation, but I truly think that this game is going to be like an early 26 game instead of a late 25 game. But it doesn't really matter to the point I'm about to make. It's soon. And in fact, it's so soon that you probably can show in-game gameplay, set up systems. Like, you can kind of go deep. Now, you can never go too deep with like the Game Awards, right? You're not given 20 minutes to show off your thing. It's quick, right? And again, that's why I think this is more of like a it's a game builder. I was gonna say like world builder. I guess that's kind of the same thing. Just set up the game, right? Set up the story, set up the characters, maybe establish in some of the shots that there's gonna be things to do around the world. That's pretty much what I'm looking at, because you're not gonna have enough time to do like an in-depth 15-minute breakdown of like, okay, here's a side mission, here's a story mission, today we're going to be driving this car down the street. You don't have time at the Game Awards, so I'm not expecting that, but I do think they can show us an okay amount and get people excited. So honestly, I'm pumped. I mean, I really do like the Mafia games. They've definitely been like up and down. They haven't been super consistent, and they've never reached I think like elite status. Like aspects of them have reached elite status, but not like the entirety of any one of these games in my belief. So I'm really looking forward to this one. Let me know what you think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.